Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? We are here with week 2 of the NPL season 5, and we are facing RecklessBat, aka Nick, and his Texas Tyrantrums. Very solid opponent, an OG member of the NPL. He has been here since season 1. He was in our division at least once, maybe twice already, but yeah, he has been like a long time rival pretty much of us. We has had a lot of games in the past, and it's always like always pretty close between us. He's a very solid player. In my opinion, has improved a lot over the last year, and yeah, he has a very threatening team too. As you see, he has the Tapu Lele, the Crowbat, the Excadrill, the Weezing, the Celebi, and the Electros. He also had on the squad Gastrodon, Mega Tyranitar, Kyurem. Yeah, some pretty annoying stuff that is hard to break, isn't hard to take down, and not easy to switch in. But yeah, we built a pretty fun squad. We've played twice, so I won't be able to cover too much of my sets. But Galatia is a pretty heat set, a max HP with enough speed for Lele, SD 3 attacks, dual stab and X scissor for the Celebi, and like it's a it's a mon that like is so bulky that it can shoot any hit. Like it can take an Earthquake from Excadrill from Pro, it can take a Moonblast from Scarf Lele after rocks, it can take a Brave Bird from defensive Crowbat after rocks, it can pretty much shoot anything he can throw at me unless he stacks Lele, and the +2 Zen Headbutt Psychic Terrain actually OHKOs Lele clean, so this is pretty nice. Muk here is a bulky Spadef variant, which is like, it functions as a check to Kyurem, it functions as, obviously, as my Lele counter, it functions as a check to Celebi. Muk here has to recycle Yapapa Berry Gluttony set, because I was pretty convinced that my opponent would bring Guardian of Alola Tapu Lele here, because otherwise he just can't break through Muk, and like his team, as it's like it doesn't deal too well with Alolan Muk anyway. Excadrill can obviously beat it, but I can always go Alo, wish Muk back up if I need to hit Excadrill with Liquidation and then win with Muk pretty much on my own. Crowbat also could take it down because it can potentially taunt me from recycling, and I don't have coverage for Crowbat. I have Poison Jab, Pursuit, and I think Brick Break for Megatita. Not sure, but yeah, Muk a pretty solid mon. If you look at my opponent's team here, the only thing Muk really has to do is beat Lele. Yes, it's nice for Celebi, a nice backup check, but I can always like revenge it with Scolipede. If he's slow, I can revenge it with Gallade, and like Ladi can ship it down if he's like a Scarf variant, for example, or an AV variant. Ferrothorn can get a Gyro Ball off, so that's all pretty nice. But yeah, Muk only here for Lele and maybe for the Celebi, which is nice. Alomomola is a physical defense variant, Wish, Protect, Toxic, Liquidation, nothing special. It's my Sand check, like it deals with Tita and Excadrill fairly well, so I kinda had to bring it. Scolipede here, pretty heat set. I won't reveal everything I have on it, but it's a speedy set obviously, and it has the life with the Mega Horn. That's all I want to say. Like it's like I might bring the same set again in the later matchup, and like we'll see how that goes. Ladia's here, bulky speedy, with Roost obviously Psychic, and the Z-Surf, because Z-Surf actually OHKOs, like if Tita switches in on rocks and he takes a Surf, then a Z-Surf kills if he's uninvested Mega Tita. It's also nice to beat Excadrill, and like I have another nice move on there that I didn't have to review, but a move that I might bring again when we face again, so can't review that. Can't review that here. And then we have an Ockerberry Ferrothorn, which functions as a backup check to Lele, because you know Muk can't guarantee to always recycle if he like makes aggressive doubles or so, and like chips me down with hazards, for example. So I have to like play carefully around that. And we have a backup check here in Ferrothorn with the Ockerberry, Gyro Ball Stealth, Rock and Leech Seed on the set. Last move I won't reveal, but yeah, very solid mon if you look at my opponent. I can Leech Seed pretty much everything. Celebi can't really touch me unless he has the HP Fire, and with an Ockerberry, HP Fire bounces, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, we are right into it. Look at my opponent's team. I feel like Scolipede has a very solid matchup once I weaken Excadrill to like half, and once I get rid of Weezing. After that, like Scolipede just goes in and destroys everything. Crobat is gonna be pretty annoying. I don't have the best switch-ins, especially if he's offensive like Bravebird does a fuck ton to Ferrothorn, 2 Chaos Ladi, so I can't really like I have to scout for the set and like to see if I can revenge it potentially or catch it with my Mega Gallade on a Zen Headbutt or something if he wants to pull a double on me, which probably is his best way to deal with my Gallade, like for example going into a fighting type attack on a Celebi or Weezing on a Celebi and then like go Crobat on an X-Scissor or Knockoff for example. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but Gallade obviously can win too. If I get rid of the Crobat and identify a potential Scarfer, and like if the Scarfer is Celebi, I don't care. If the Scarfer is Electros, I don't care. Scarfer is Lele, I can chew one hit if I'm at full. But if I like catch the Crobat on the Zen Headbutt, Gallade pretty much guaranteed wins. Once I get it in on Electros, I can just go to +2 and kill everything. Like nothing can chew a hit at +2, which is fairly nice. So Gallade can actually put in a lot of work here. But yeah, let's go right into it. I decided to lead off with my Ladias because it covers like the Crobat lead. I didn't want to switch out turn 1 versus Crobat. I just like would have gone for the Roost probably, or just fire off the Psychic to see what kind of set he is. If he's offensive, he just dies to the Psychic, which is nice. And if he's defensive, I can like see what he wants to do, Roost up potentially, and like see what his switching is. He leads off with Electros. I'm just gonna go for a Psychic on this thing because I want to see if this thing is AV or if it's like a coil set, which could be kind of troublesome, but I can break through that obviously. But yeah, we'll see. I stay and go for a Psychic. If he goes for a Knock, it doesn't hurt me too much because I'm a Z-move variant. So I can shoot a Knock. Go for the Psychic, he reveals to be AV, max HP, and a lot of speed def. Like this is like a super specially bulky Electros. Probably is like a one of his switch-ins for one of his backup checks for a Carmine Clefairy because it can potentially acid spray me. It also is a switch-in for Ladia, so it doesn't always have to go Celebi or Lele or even Drill, because like if he's AV Drill he gets whittled down fairly early, and like this thing being so special defense pretty much tells me that his Lele is an offensive variant that doesn't want to switch into Ladi too often, and that his Celebi is probably an offensive variant too, because Celebi otherwise would be a nice check to Ladi, but that eel pretty much tells me that he's like, this is like one of his main checks for my special attackers. Also it checks Greninja fairly well, which I have on my squad, so and looking at this team, Greninja pretty much destroys everything he brought. But Eel obviously choose any hit, like a Hydro Pump to this set probably be like 35, so smart bring on his part, allows him to like stay in on this Ladi and go for a Volt Switch on this turn. I'm just gonna Roost him, and knowing that he's AV can't Toxic me, so this is nice. And I get some nice chip down on it. Goes into Celebi. I decided to make the switch into my Scolipede because I think he's either going to Baton Pass or U-turn. There's no way he Psychics here, and if he doesn't Psychic, I can, or U-turn, I can pretty much get up a Toxic Spikes, threaten him out. Toxic Spikes not too great versus my opponent because he only has 2 ground mons in Celebi and Tapu Lele, but it would be nice to chip down the Lele, especially if Muk afterwards can like can just stay in and recycle up on it if it's like a Specs variant that does like 50 with Moonblast. I can just recycle up all the time and have my Yapapa Berry for the remainder of the game. So Scolipede's a very fine switching here, but he goes for the U-turn. The way he U-turns out on Ladias shows me that he's like not afraid to take a Z Draco potentially. He knew I was Z move turn 1, which kind of tells me he's either a Scarf Celebi or like a really especially bulky Celebi that like maybe wants to go for the slow U-turn. He might have like a pinch berry like your Papa or Fiji, but at this moment I'm assuming this is a Scarf Celebi. Now Crobat comes in, which is unfortunate. I don't get my speed boost obviously because of how the mechanics work, and I have to go into my Ferrothorn here. I was trying to like potentially stay in, but you can't pretty much, like this is the freest Bravebird of his life. If he goes for U-turn, he takes the chip from my Iron buff, so Ferrothorn and no drawback play. Here I will just get up my Stealth Rock. If he goes for the Heat Wave, if he has it, he does like 22% because I have the Orca Berry. He misses a Heat Wave, which is unfortunate for him, but I get up my Stealth Rock. This turn I will go for the Gyro Ball, shooting the Heat Wave. I don't mind my Ferrothorn being weakened because I can always wish it up later, and I can easily leech it up on stuff like Extra Drill, Electros, if it doesn't affect the Flamethrower, Tapu Lele even. He doesn't affect the HP Fire, the Weezing, unless I like as he wants to burn me. He can't really do too much unless he runs a Fire Blast, which I don't think he would, but definitely an option. Anyway, I go for Gyro, do 50, which shows alongside the like Brave Bird damage, it shows it's a max HP Crobat or close to max HP, which also has some defense and is obviously not max speed. I guess he's enough speed for Greninja has max HP into rest dumped into defense, which would make pretty much sense versus me because defensive Crobat is really hard for my team to break down, especially if it's speedy and can roost up on everything. So I'm going for the Leech Seed here, predicting to roost up, which makes my next switching easier. And like now a Heat Wave can't knock me out from here, I know this, and I can just fire for Gyro Ball, trying to keep this Crobat low. If he wants to defog, he takes like 50% from Gyro and 12% from the Leech, and I get close close to full, and he can't storm me out after that. So I go for the Gyro. I could have gone for the double Leech here, but Extra comes in, and the Gyro Ball damage reveals to me that he's max HP Extra. So I think I can just stay and get the Leech Seed off. He probably wants to spin and take like the Iron Buffs, but like I figured he might have predicted me to double out into potentially Latias to take like the Leech Seed to take a Brave Bird or a Heat Wave. Then he could take me on with like a big Iron Head that would do fucks onto my Latias, so or like that just gave him a free spin if he was AV Extra. So I decide to stay in and I go for a Leech Seed here as he goes for the Earthquake. I could have gone into Aloe here, but he actually gets a crit and knocks me out. This extra later reveals to be Adamant Bandit Extra, so the Earthquake was a super high roll in his favor anyway. So I can't be too mad. But it would have been nice to know that this is an Adamant Bandit drill because they like would have made this turn pretty much different here with my Gallade. I would have never made the play I make here had I known that this is Adamant Band. So Gallade comes in now. I'm going for the Zen Headbutt here, predicting him to go into Crobat or Celebi. If he goes Celebi, I don't mind too much because Celebi can't touch me anywhere, and I can like make a play after that. Had I known he's Adamant Bandit and could clean knock me out, I would have gone for the Drain Punch obviously, but yeah, I decided to make a play. I don't think he would throw away his Excadrill because he seems to have potential checks. He seems to have to, but he definitely has some checks for plus to Gallade. Had I Sword Stance here, this game actually would have been already over. Not gonna lie, I'll tell you soon why, but I decided to go for the Zen, played kinda safely if one of his poisons was coming. Celebi comes in, I go for the Zen Headbutt and do 19%, which is nice, shows that he is definitely an offensive or like uninvested in bulk Celebi, which is good to know. And yeah, here I know this, like I had the assumption that this was a Scarf Celebi, and my Gallade actually doesn't creep base 100, it only creeps Tapu Lele, so I decided to like just go for another Zen Headbutt. Had I gone for the SD here, on this turn I wouldn't have got off the chip, but I definitely would have gone for a Drain Punch on the next turn because like I get pretty much 50% off on the Celebi plus 2 Drain Punch and get back my health from whatever he wants to do. And if he switches out into Crobat, I would be at full after U-turn and the Drain Punch damage on Crobat, and I would have been able to chew a Brave Bird, knock out the Crobat, and then kill everything else. Besides potentially the Celebi, but Celebi like can't really touch my Gallade, and he maybe would have been inclined to roost up anyway on my Crobat after taking the Drain Punch damage and the rocks. He would have been at like 50%, and he like probably would have been inclined to roost. So I could have just gone for the Zen Headbutt and knock out the Crobat there. But anyway, yeah, we'll go for the Zen Headbutt, predicting to just U-turn out. Celebi can't touch me at all. Like the best thing he could do to me would be Dazzling Gleam, and an offensive Dazzling Gleam does like 44 to my Gallade. So the Zen Headbutt is a no drawback play. If he stays in and Dazzling Gleams, that's fine. I can just Drain Punch on the next turn, get some health back, or just switch out. Because I have the assumption he would stay in, and then I could go into my Mark and Pursuit Rabbit potentially. So I go for the Zen here, so he goes for the U-turn, and I'm like, oh, please go into Crobat. He goes into Crobat, I catch him with the Zen Headbutt, and my Gallade misses. That's like super unfortunate. Yes, the Heat Wave miss earlier sucked, but my Ferrothorn was in no way as important as this Crobat was for my opponent here. Had I gotten rid of the Crobat, this game was literally over. I just needed to like bring an Aloe at some point, forced him to go Electros pretty much. And once Electros got in, I could have sacked something to like a knockoff or so, and then bring in Gallade, set up a sword stand, and clean up the game. Like nothing could take a +2 hit from Mega Gallade at this point. So very unfortunate on my part. I have to switch out here. I think I go to Ladias, take the Brave Bird, and like cover also the Roost play. If he Roost up, I can just fire off the Psychic. And now I think I'll go for the. I think I pull a double here into my Alone Mug to catch either the Celebi or the Lele, which I identify as very safe switch into my Ladias here. Oh no, I Roost first, and this man here, Mickey Boy, like I'm not like trying to talk trash, but he is trying to give me his only Revenger for Gallade in the Crobat. Like if I Psychic here, yes, he gets Toxic off on my Ladias, but Gallade is like Gallade guaranteed wins. Like this is 2 turns in a row he tries to give me his only Revenger in Crobat, making the hard read that I would Roost here. If I Psychic, I win the game guaranteed. And now he Toxics me, I go for the Roost, and yeah, that's kind of bad. I didn't expect it to be a toxic bet because he revealed Roost, Heatwave, and Brave, but I figured he would have like would have had the taunt here or the defog, but it seems like his extra build is a spinner. But yeah, like I don't agree with this play. Let's put it this way, because if he loses Crobat, he loses to Gallade. It's like that's pretty much it. Like he can't really afford to play his Crobat as aggressively as he does. But he gets rewarded for the play, makes a hard read. It probably was a read that I would like to Roost up here because he knows that I like to keep my mons healthy, but still like don't think the play was necessary. He could have just make the aggressive switch into Lele and be good from there, because Psychic would have bounced, and even if I like Roost up, he pressures me out and like forces me to go into Mug, which gives him a free Excadrill, a free Earthquake and shit like that. So figured that wasn't his best play on this turn, but it works out for him. So here pulled a double. Here pulled the switch out into Mug, predicting either Celebi or Lele to come in, and Mickey switches out. Doesn't want to take a Psychic here. Goes into Tapu Lele, and I'm like, ooh, hello Tapu Lele. Here we are. And now I make a stupid play, but I go for the Pursuit here because I know this thing has the Guardian of the Lola Z move here, but this time I go for the Pursuit here because he knows that like a Poison Jab kills him here, guaranteed. Like I do 92% at least with my Poison Jab to this Tapu Lele, and if he goes for the Guardian of the Lola here and I Poison Jab here, his Lele goes down. If I'm Pidgeberry or Papa Berry, I will be at 75% with the dead Lele, and nothing on the squad appreciates Mug being 25% lower than it is right now. And if I'm AV, nothing on this team really appreciates Mug being at 25%. Like he's willing to throw away his Lele for to get rid of the only mon that counters the Lele. So it doesn't really make sense, in my opinion, to like go for the Z Madness here, because the only way a Z Madness Lele beats an Alone Mug is if my Alone Mug is AV and he catches me on the switch in with the Z move. And on this turn, like he can just Z Madness me here, but throw away his Lele, which wouldn't make much sense. So I figured he was more inclined to switch out, knowing that a Pursuit never kills him and he doesn't really need HP on his Lele, because the monster that outspeeds him kill him anyway. After one more rock switch in, like the Zen Headbutt from Gallade does a fuck ton. Like Ladi wouldn't even kill him with a Psychic after he switches out. So I figured like he doesn't really gain anything from going for the Z Madness here, because like I get all my HP back anyway, and he just would throw away his Lele for nothing on his team to take advantage of the weakened Mug. So I go for the Pursuit here, but he actually shows the Z move here, which is fine with me. As I said, I don't agree with it, but it works out for him again. I get my Yapapa Berry back, I go for Pursuit, do 21% chip, which is kind of important, because now after he takes one more round of rocks, it's already a roll for unboosted Zen Headbutt to kill the Lele, which is pretty high. I think, depending on the set. Maybe it needs 2 more rock switch-ins, but like the chip is pretty easy to get. And yeah, Mug can just recycle here. I don't really mind him switching out. He goes into Drill, which either gives him a free spin, gives him free rocks, or gives him an Earthquake. I go into my Alo here, and this is the turn where he reveals to be Adamant Bandit Drill. Pretty annoying, but works out well. At this turn, like it does a fuck ton to my entire team, so it's a pretty smart bring on his behalf. But I would have liked to know that he is Adamant Bandit a little earlier when he killed my Ferrothorn, like just so I can play around it easier and like make some other plays potentially. But anyway, it's not too bad. Like the crit didn't really affect the game too much. But here I'm considering a double because I would get my region back, but I'm thinking like, nah, I don't have to, like, I'm kind of in the back right now. I don't have too much momentum, even though I like have my rocks up. I forced him to make some switches here and there, get some chip off on his mons for Scolipede to clean up, but I still have no chip on Weezing, so I can't play too aggressively here to already go for game. So I decided to just go for the Wish. I see actually Earthquakes again, very solid play on this. But had I liquidation, had I hit the liquidation here, would have knocked out the Excadrill clean. I think it does like 70 to 80 to an Excadrill. He was max hit 3, maybe it would have been a roll. I'm pretty sure like liquidation would have bopped this Excadrill. Alo's physical attack isn't weak at all. So I go for the Wish here now. Like this is the easiest switch out of his life into either Celebi or Electro. So I decide to not click the Protect. I decide to go for Stunt or Die, hitting the 7 out of 7 on the Stunt or Die scale, obviously, and try to get some chip on the Electros and the Celebi. So I go for Liquidation. He switches out, and I get some nice and clean chip off on the eel. Not going for the Protect. I get the defense drop, which actually means that the next Liquidation is a roll to knock him out, but I can't really afford it. I will go for the Protector, so I get guaranteed back up to 100% with my Alo. I see Volt switches. Now I go into my Ladi, I think. Ladi being toxic is super annoying. Looking at my opponent's team, like, you can't really switch in Lele anymore because Rocks and Psychic do a nice amount, and like Psychic into Rocks into Psychic to Z-Surf knockout and Lele, and he really doesn't have anything to wear down the Ladi. So I guess the toxic play with Crobat made sense because I'm pretty much more inclined to always keep it healthy, knowing that my Ladi pretty much beats at least 5 members on the squad easily, and 1 member potentially if he decides to switch it in aggressively on the Psychic. So I will go for the Roost here on this next Volt Switch. No reason to get some more chip off on him. I don't have a Volt Switch in either. He has the initiative all the time. And he goes back into Celebi. Here I should have roosted up once more because I know he was going for U-turn, but the toxic damage was racking up, and I didn't want to be at like 66 or so after the next round of toxic after taking the U-turn and roosting up. So I decided to switch out here into my Mach, which gives him free Excadrill, but free Excadrill isn't too bad, to be honest. Here I really predicted to spin. I was inclined to stay in and go for the Brick Break to get some damage off, or make the aggressive switch into my Gallade, which would have given me a free SD in case he rapid spins there. But I decided to play it safe, go into my Alo, and as he actually gets some Stealth Rock. So he's Banded Rocks. I couldn't fit it on anything else, I guess. And yeah, he gets them up, which isn't too bad for my squad. Scolipede is pretty much only here to come back in the late game and clean up. So I pull this double switch out into my Gallade, knowing that he is locked into Rocks. Could have gone into Crobat there, but then he would have been forced to Brave Bird, and I could have just stayed into Zen Headbutt. But now Weezing comes in, and look at this team. Tapu Lele is at 66, will be at 52-ish after switching into Rocks. Crobat is low after Rocks. Excadrill is low. Still need a little bit of chip on Excadrill, but Celebi obviously can't take a Mega Hunt from Scolipede. Electros is low, and if I weaken this Weezing, I only need like 15% on this Excadrill to guaranteed sweep with Scolipede, unless I miss Mega Haunts. So my best play is here to go for the Zen Headbutt. If he burns me, he burns me. I don't mind. I get the necessary chip off on the Weezing and can just spam Zen Headbutt on whatever he wants to do, and yeah, go from there. So I go for the Zen Headbutt. If I weaken him, he is in Mega Horn range after 1 more Rock Switch in, and he actually flinches. Doesn't burn me, but like doesn't make a difference in the long run because I had the necessary chip on Weezing here for my Scolipede to clean up with Mega Horn. So I go for the Zen again. He has to sack him on here, has to sack the Weezing. Could have made the aggressive play into like Celebi, but that wouldn't have given him anything, would have just been forced to U-turn. And now Crobat comes in. I'm not giving this thing a free roost. Yes, Gallade can win once I get rid of Crobat, but if I go Ladi here on the Crobat, I actually die to 2 Brave Birds plus Toxic, and I don't have a Revenger for the Crobat, so going Ladi would have been a terrible play, I'm not gonna lie. So I decided to stay in. Brave Bird is a roll to knock me out because I took the rocks damage on the Excadrill. It's a roll in his favor. Had I made the hard switch on the drill when he went for rocks, I would have been at 86, and an uninvested Brave Bird does 89 max to me, so would have been nice, but I forced him to go for Brave Bird here, forced him to be low, and he knocks out my thingy here. Gets the roll in his favor, but it was like a huge roll in his favor. I needed one of the 3 or 4 lowest rolls to live, so no biggie there. But Crobat is low. I go Lati, which is my only play. I'm forced to Psychic here to never give him a free roost. He goes into Electros. I can 2 KO this thing, 19% again. And now at this point, I'm like, all I'm trying to do is not give Excadrill a free spin and get some more chip on Excadrill to win this game. I tell him after the Psychic, I'm telling him, it's the freest spin of your life, controlling the chat a little, and he actually goes into Excadrill now, and he will give me the only mon left that could take it from Scolipede. And I will go for the Hydro Vortex here and knock this Excadrill clean out. He forgot about the Z move, he told me. I talked a little in the chat. I said like, free spin, and he was like, yeah, to be honest. And I was like, fucking Crobat, man, this thing should be so dead, because obviously like he dodged the Zen Headbutt from a Gallade, and now it looks that he could potentially win with Crobat, but nah. Now he goes into Celebi. He goes for the U-turn to knock me out. I think his play was actually to go for the Healing Wish here into his Crobat. I'm not gonna lie. I went for the Roost in case he made the Healing Wish play, because after the Roost and Toxic damage, I could have taken one more Brave Bird and forced him out. So I, regardless of what I do, I just Psychic here and either get some more chip on the Lele before I die to Toxic. I would have just spammed Psychic afterwards. And then Crobat, after taking one more round of rocks, he would have been at like 50, and he would have guaranteed died to my Rock Slide from my Life of Scolipede. So this thing comes in, and now I can bring my Scolipede, click Mega Horn 2 times on the Lele and the Celebi, and clean up this game. So it's gonna be GG, it is Aki. I'm not missing my Mega Horny on the next turn on the Celebi. Even if he gets the Healing Wish off, Crobat would go down to would take enough damage from a Rock Slide, and I could stall it out with the Mug. So this is gonna be week 2. Pretty fun game. 34 turns, but we played for almost an hour. I'm fairly sure it was a really tough game, really thought out, and a very fun match, not gonna lie. GG to my boy Nicky. He's now 0-2, I think. We started seeing with 2 wins, which is nice, especially wins inside the division are always clean. Next week we are facing my boy Mega Lugia and his Bayern Munchlax, and he started 2-0 as well, so this is gonna be hype. Going for the gonna be a game for the division lead, and then we head into inner conference matches and shit like that. But anyway, this was week 2. Scolipede coming in clutch this week. Ladias hitting the Excadrill with the Z move was pretty hype as well, and we were able to clutch out this win. I felt like I was behind for much of the match, because even though I made some aggressive doubles, I didn't capitalize on them too much, and obviously the Zen Headbutt miss on Crobat pretty much made this game 20 turns longer than it should have been, because afterwards Gallade would have just cleaned up this match. And yeah, what can you do? We still won, got a nice 3-0 win, and yeah, we're looking clean for the rest of the season. The squad is super fun to use, and now I built this squad before I made the trade for Greninja and Flygon and shit like that, and I didn't want to build again, so now we can finally use our new members on the squad, which is gonna be pretty hype. Not gonna lie, I'm really looking forward to Greninja and Flygon and Pig Knight on the squad. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like in the comment if you did, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.